Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be doing a get ready with me, but it's going to be a little bit of a chatty get ready with me because we're going to be talking about the Netflix series that just came out. I would say like 10 days ago now, or going on 10 days, Forever. So if you haven't seen the Netflix series Forever, I definitely recommend it. Um, it's really good. So let's get into the makeup aspect because we're just going to be doing makeup in this video. I am not a makeup artist, so please, and I go for simple makeup. I don't really put on too much. So I already did my brows already. I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. So this is what I use. So now I'm just gonna go in with some concealer, and I have two that I like. They're both mini sizes. I have Nars right here, and then I have one called Kosas, which is the lightest one that I use. And I use this little beauty blender that I have here that's wet. Okay, so the Netflix series Forever is like a teen drama, right? So I'm only gonna touch on like 4 points without giving away any spoilers or anything. So I'm gonna do a mini background. I'm going to then go into the pros and cons of both parents. Then I'm gonna go into how it made me feel, and then would I recommend it? Now, I think I already answered that question in the beginning. Okay, so let's start the makeup a little bit first. So let's go into just like putting some on. I don't know how people do this and talk at the same time, but I'm going to try. So after I put this on, then I will start to talk. Okay, so I just put just that much there. You can't even really see it because it's very to my skin tone, which I like. Okay, so mini background. The mini background on the show, or the main characters, I should say, is Justin and Keisha. So Justin and Keisha are the main characters of this series. I keep wanting to say film, but it's series. It's 8 episodes. So Justin comes from a two-parent household, and he has a sibling, and his family is well off, right? His dad owns a restaurant, and I completely forgot what mom does. But Keisha now, she comes from a one-parent household, meaning her mom is the only one who is taking care of her, who is supporting her, etc. um I wouldn't say Keisha lives in a poor area. At least in the movie, it doesn't really show that, like if she lives in the ghetto or something. But she doesn't. It seems like she's in an apartment, as opposed to Justin. He's in, a home, like a house with a pool in the backyard, etc. Justin and Keisha used to go to school together when they were small, and Justin and Keisha both got invited to a party, right? And that's where you could say they kind of rekindling or re-meeting each other, right? So she recognizes him. He didn't recognize her at both of them at the same party. He didn't recognize her, but she recognized him. And they kind of click, you know. He seemed to be intrigued by her, vice versa. Um, and that's where everything begins. And without giving too much, this is where we get to see them start, young love, go through all these challenges they're going to face. And we watch them navigate their last 2 years of um, high school before they go off to college or wherever they decide. Like I said, I don't want to give away too much. Okay, so it's really really nice. The music in the beginning is good, and it's just a good vibe so far, right? In the beginning of the series. Okay. Next, I am gonna go in with my Laura Mercier to set the concealer. So I just take a little bit, and I really don't do makeup that much. If I do, is normally just concealer and brows, nothing too crazy. So you could see I'm just putting it underneath my eye. Look over here a little bit. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the second part, which is like I said, the pros and cons of both parents. So like I said, Justin comes from a two-parent household and Keisha comes from a one-parent household. The pros of both parents is that they are supportive of their children. I would say that there's support. Keisha's mom is supportive of her in her dreams and what she wants to aspire. She's really pushing her, okay? And then Justin, I don't want to give anything away. He is kind of, his parents are supportive of him and want what's best for him. I do like his relationship with his father. His father, I'm going to give a little spoiler here. His father is very, in tune with him as a young man growing up. So there was a scene where he says he's just going to be hanging out with Keisha. They're just hanging out. They're not doing anything. So his father comes into the room and he has condoms and a cucumber. And he says, put it on. So he's given his son, you know, kind of having a talk in a way, but even though he said to his son that I know you said you're only hanging out with Keisha, but you never know, one thing could lead to another, and I want you to be prepared. So Justin then puts the condom on the cucumber, and his dad was like, okay, cool. But then he draws the curtain now, and now the room is dark. So he's telling him to put it on now. And in that part, he was struggling. So, the dad was kind of like, okay, so see, this is why I do this with you. And for his mom, Justin's mom, she is a little bit, I would say, a little bit more stricter with her son. She does want what's best for him. She was happy when he came home with a black girl, Keisha. She was very happy, with that aspect of it. Okay, guys, I'm gonna pause right there. I'm gonna go in with this clear brow gel that I'm gonna use for my brows, and I'm just gonna put a little bit. I'm not going anywhere special. I'm just going to a few stores. So I'm not going to use black. I'm just going to use this one. This is really good. I do recommend this right here if you want to do something simple, something natural for every day. Okay, so let's get back into it. Yes, so like I was saying, the parents, I really like how they were really into their children, and they want what's best for them in a sense, right? But the cons of the parents is that Justin is kind of afraid to express himself and talk to his parents. I would say his mom mostly, and he kind of wants to please them. He doesn't really, it's not like he wants to please himself. He wants to please his parents with his parents wanting him to go to this top university, and they want their child, excuse me, to do the right thing and to be the best in life. Cons with Keisha's parents, they're really pushing her. Want to know why? I feel is because they want to get out of the situation that they are in. They want what's best for Keisha, and her grandpa also plays a good role for her in the movie, training her, etc. Her dad then comes around, which is not a very positive impact to her in the beginning, but he turns around and he also wants what's best for her because he's been in and out of her life. So I'm going to leave it like that with the pros and cons of the parents. I'm going to go into how it made me feel. Okay, let's go into that next. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my L'Oreal powder in the color W7. Do you guys remember when this used to be the round shape and not this shape? That's how long I've been using this. Okay, so how does this make me feel? It definitely brought me back to high school. Oh my goodness. It was a breath of fresh air, and it did bring back, all the good feels as well, not negative, but it did bring back, like, I come from a Caribbean household, and it's like we want to please our family. We want to do what they want us to do. It's not like sometimes we have a saying in doing sometimes some things, especially when it comes to education. So, I saw that in it. I also saw, you know, the challenges that we face, with friends, with popularity, um, things like that. And it also made me remember of the fun side of high school, such as, with the prom scene. Oh my gosh, the prom scene is really good. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry about that. But yeah, the prom scene was really nice and fun, and it did bring out the fun side of I just sneezed again. It did bring out the fun side of me remembering how college was. I mean, not college, sorry, how high school was. But it made me feel really good. The ups and downs, the highs and lows, all the feels. It brought me back to high school days. And I really, really enjoyed watching the series. Would I recommend it now? That's my last point. Yes, I would recommend it. Would I recommend it to a 12 and 13-year old? Um, I I don't want to say I wouldn't, but I feel like it's a good movie for parents. Like, if you're a parent, I feel like that's a good movie for you to watch, to break the ice, to have those conversations with your teenager or your 18-year-old, 19-year-old, because a lot of parents don't like to have these conversations with their kids, and they have to go out into the world and experience all these things alone without knowing anything at all. I'm now going to go into this setting spray by MAC. So yes, I would recommend it. 13, I would say yes, if the parent is there and they want to sit with them and watch this movie. I would definitely say go ahead, do it. And again, like I said, it gives the parents an opportunity to have conversations with their child or children about sexual stuff, about, is this what high school is like for you? College, all of these things, and actually open the floor to have that dynamic of conversation with your teenager daughter or son, and really bond. So I would say yes, I do recommend it. I did hear that they have a second season coming out. How do I feel about that? I'm okay. I feel like sometimes move series and movies, once you make the series out of it, I feel sometimes you should just finish it off and leave it alone, because sometimes you come back and it's not the greatest. But there is going to be a second season. With this, I don't really mind, because the way it was left off, you kind of like want to know. I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. Lip pencil and just line my lips with it. Here we go. And then I'm gonna go in with this Nars lipstick. It's not really a lipstick, it's kind of like a lip balm. and it gives you a little bit of color. And that's the finished look. As you can see, I don't really have that. It doesn't really look like anything is different. It is enhanced a little bit, and I love it. So let me know if this review was good enough for you, and if you would watch the series Forever on Netflix. It is binge worthy, and I would recommend anyone to watch it. Let me know your thoughts and comments if you have watched it. Let me know what you think. Let's have a discussion below about it. Do you have any children, and would you let them watch it if they're 13 and up? Like I said, I do recommend if someone's 13, I feel that's okay if a parent is there. And again, thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope to see you here in my next video. Bye.